Hello, and welcome to a solo edition of Universe 7, a Dragon Ball podcast. My name is Nick, and I'm going to be your host today. It's going to be a little weird. No Mason today, but it has been about a month and a half, I believe, since we put out an episode for you guys, so I didn't want to leave you hanging anymore. So here I am recording a solo podcast for the first time ever. So this ought to be a train wreck, but you know what? We'll see what happens. Not a whole lot to talk about as far as the dub goes. Where we last left off, it was just before episode 66, which sadly was one of the best episodes, in my opinion, of the entire Goku Black / Zamasu arc. That was Showdown, the Miraculous Power of Unyielding Warriors, where Goku and Vegeta used the Potara to fuse into Vegito, which, I mean, I remember back when it first aired. When it first aired in Japanese, the weekend before, actually, when they did the preview, they actually spoiled just about everything about this episode, which was kind of ridiculous. They did the whole next week on Dragon Ball Super, and then boom, there's Super Saiyan Blue Vegito right there. So the hype was real. It didn't quite live up to it, considering they nerfed the Potara pretty badly, and at least we have a reason to why the Potara earrings didn't work against Boo better than at least we got a better reason than nasty air inside of Boo. But anyway, that was the last episode that we were getting ready to cover before we went on our month-plus long break. So we have missed episodes 66 through 70, which just aired this last weekend. And I'm sure if you guys have been keeping up on the dub, I know I kind of haven't. I'm at the point where I've already seen the entire series in Japanese, and now with all the stuff for Dragon Ball movie number 20, I'm just kind of at the point where I'm waiting for that with bated breath and not really paying a whole lot of attention to the dub, at least until this next arc starts. When this next arc starts, I am definitely going to be all in, probably be watching it every week again, all that good stuff. So we've missed the end of the Zamasu arc, which I remember back when that aired in Japan, a lot of people were really upset at Trunks getting the finishing blow, just because you have a fused Vegito that can't even do damage to Zamasu, but Super Saiyan Trunks with a Spirit Sword can cut him in half, no problem. Okay, but I didn't have a huge problem with it. The one thing I didn't like was future Trunks deciding to leave at the end of this arc. You'd think that he'd be happier hanging out with his entire family, rather than going to another timeline that has another him and another Mai in it. But I do remember when this aired, I told Mason, I told him, if I was Trunks, I would go to that timeline and kill my counterpart and Mai's counterpart in that timeline, and just basically take their places as the Prime Trunks and Prime Mai in that timeline. It's a lot easier than having to deal with it's me, but it's not me. Is that my brother? I'm not sure. So yeah, that's the one big problem I did have with this arc, was Trunks leaving. I really did enjoy the fact that, in a way, Zamasu won. He got his wish. All mortal life in the entire universe, at least that timeline's universe, was destroyed, and he was well on his way to, it looks like, destroying life in any other universe when he was manifesting the smoke in the clouds and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, this was the ending of this arc. Had a couple good things, couple bad things. I did like how we finally got to see all the power that Zeno has, and Goku's idea to bring Zeno a friend was just fantastic. I did like it a little more in Japanese, just because I like the Zeno Japanese voice a little better, but I still just love that he brought another Zeno to him, and they're like, oh yeah, no, this will work, and doing that all while flying by the seat of his pants. Pretty ridiculous. Anyway, from there, Trunks leaves. We have that awesome scene where Gohan's saying bye to him. He has his bang for some reason. Not sure why. Probably just nostalgia. But anyway, after that, we kind of have gone into a unfortunate, let's see. Let me count how many episodes this is. 1, 2, 3. Oof. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 6 or 7 episodes of filler. Well, not filler. 6 or 7 episodes that form a pretty large transition arc before we get into the next saga here. Some of them were good. Like the baseball episode we shared this last weekend was really fun. I'm not a big Dr. Slump fan, so the Goku versus Arale episode really kind of fell flat, in my opinion. I don't know if some of you who like anime and manga a lot more than I do, you may have enjoyed it. I personally didn't. I was just kind of over it from the get-go. Like I said, though, I did like the baseball episode, and then for the next couple weeks, we do have pretty good filler episodes. We have 6 filler episodes left. I would say that out of all of those, 2 of them are pretty bad. Everything else is pretty good. But yeah, that's what we've missed regarding the dub. Once the next arc starts, I'm going to try and record more regularly, whether Mason is here or not. So hopefully get forward to looking to a more consistent release schedule. I know I've said that a million times over the last couple months, but the entire plan to begin with was to come back for this next arc and be pretty regular. It might not be weekly, it might be bi-weekly, but either way, come back for this next one. That's kind of been the plan from the get-go. Anyway, let's go ahead and get into some news that Daniel on Discord wanted me to share. If you're not really into gaming, you might want to skip ahead maybe a minute or two. I'm just going to kind of fly through this because it's not really my area of expertise either. But Daniel wanted me to bring it up, so I'm going to do that. Apparently, there's a huge influx of Xenoverse 2 updates on the way. I'm not exactly sure what they are. I know that they're going to release one later on this fall. I'm pretty sure is the next time that we're getting one. But yeah, we're going to get more Xenoverse 2 updates. Dragon Ball FighterZ is still going absolutely crazy, which to me is insane. It's just basically Tekken. Anyway, the Dragon Ball gaming sect is getting all sorts of love right now, and it's pretty awesome for those of you who are really into that. I'm personally just playing a crap load of Mario Tennis, but, to each their own. But Daniel says that more will be revealed at the Dragon Ball Game Festival 2018, as well as a tournament for each game. I'm not really big on Xenoverse 2 tournaments. It's not really a fighting game, it's more of an RPG. Anyway, FighterZ is getting a standard best of 3 double elimination bracket, as well as a 3v3 round robin. I don't even know what a round robin is. Featuring 4 Japanese regions forming teams of 3 of their best players. Not sure if there's any plans for a U.S. qualifier, but if it happens, it has to happen fast. Evo is the following week, so DBGF would be a great meeting ground for the international gaming community surrounding Xenoverse 2 and FighterZ. It just doesn't seem likely for 2018, probably more of a 2019 thing. But Daniel thinks that they're going to announce either PyCon or Janemba. He's hoping, at least, rather than risking the casual backlash of another Goku and Vegeta reskin. But competitive and serious players are probably going to be cool with it, but the casual crowd is going to have a tough time justifying buying another Goku or another Vegeta. Either way, we have the yearly plan they highlighted regarding FighterZ, and while it goes without saying that the game is popular enough to get a Super or Arcade edition, it's hard to say if they are ready to commit to yearly installments of FighterZ. Yay. The gaming stuff I'm not really a big fan of. I played a lot of Xenoverse 2 right when it came out, beat it in a day, but I haven't gotten really any of the DLC from it that wasn't included in the season pass, so I'm kind of an outlier there. Anyway, we've gotten some pretty cool stuff that I really didn't expect. I know I brought it up last time, but I didn't actually expect it to be, I guess, the quality that it ended up being. So the first episode of the Super Dragon Ball Heroes promotional anime came out about 12 days ago, about 2 weeks ago. And it got subtitled, thrown on r/DBZ. So if you guys want to watch it, it is there on the sidebar. But it was pretty neat. A lot of people didn't like it because it was essentially just fan fiction put in anime form, which, I mean, it's Dragon Ball, I'll take it. But we had some cool stuff like Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta facing off Trunks on the prison planet, which is pretty dumb, but if you kind of just suspend all disbelief and just enjoy it, it's pretty neat. If you end up watching it trying to like really get a good grasp of the story and all that kind of stuff, you're probably not going to have a good time. But I mean, I would suggest watching it either way. If you hate it, you hate it. If you like it, the next episode's coming out in 3 days. So, and supposedly there's going to be Golden Cooler. So I would definitely suggest watching it just for all that crazy, like, oh, I wonder if there's ever going to be a Golden Cooler. Could he ever reach that level? Well, according to Super Dragon Ball Heroes, yes. So yeah, that's out. It's on the r/DBZ subreddit. Easiest way to find it is just to look at the sidebar, click on the promotional anime, and there's a streamable link right in there. Next, a big piece of news that we have, and this is massive. We've been talking about the Dragon Ball Super movie for months now, ever since it got announced. We've finally gotten some really, really concrete information about it. So, to start, we've spent the last, really ever since they said it was about the history of the Saiyans, and we got that little teaser of Goku about to fight another Saiyan on a mountain in the snow. We've been wondering, who was that Saiyan? We've been like, oh, is it Yamoshi, the guy that Akira Toriyama said was the first Super Saiyan God? Is it a Universe 6 Saiyan? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Turns out we were all dead wrong. There were a couple people on Reddit who called it and got downvoted to oblivion for it. But it turns out the Saiyan in the Dragon Ball Super movie is going to be Broly. That's right, Broly. Now, before you pause the podcast, slam your phone on the ground, and go buy a new one, I'm not as... what's the best way to say it? I'm not as down on it as I thought I would be. I never honestly thought that it would be Broly. I never thought... that's never crossed my mind. That being said, once it did come out, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. But then I read some comments from Akira Toriyama, which I'm going to read for you guys right now, that'll hopefully kind of quell some of your rage. I know it did for me when I read it for the first time. So this is what Akira Toriyama had to say. Hey everyone, are you familiar with Broly? He's an incredibly strong Saiyan who only appeared in the old anime movies, and I apparently at least drew the designs for him. But I had practically no involvement with the anime at the time, so I'd totally forgotten about the story content. So, about Broly. I hear these days he's still very popular, not only in Japan, but also overseas. Based on that, my editor, of course, suggested that we have Broly appear in this next movie. I went ahead and watched the movies from back then, and I felt this could be quite interesting once I rearranged some things. I got right to work trying my hand at a story that incorporates him into the Dragon Ball Super series. While keeping in mind Broly's classic image so as to not disappoint his fans, I did update him and add a new side to his character, and I think that this has resulted in a more fascinating Broly. Naturally, you'll get to see fierce combat, but also the paths of destiny that lead to an encounter between Goku, Vegeta, and Broly. It also involves the Frieza Force and the history of the Saiyans, which end up having a major connection to everything. The story content turns out to be very large scale and dramatic. Here comes that almighty Saiyan, Broly. I'm also including lots of other content all you fans will enjoy, so look forward to it and be patient a while longer for it to all come together. Pretty neat, huh? And for those of you wondering, how long is a little while longer? So in Japan, this is going to come out on, I believe, the 14th of December in its subtitled form. So I'm sure if you want to watch it that way, which I do want to see it subtitled, but I'd rather see it officially subtitled. You'll probably be able to track it down on the internet. I know it was that way for Resurrection F. But if you want to watch it dubbed, it is coming to theaters January of 2019. That's right, a month after it releases in Japan, it's coming out in the US, completely dubbed already. Funimation's apparently already working on it. Holy crap. This is insane. It's going to be out in 6 months. I'm hyped for it. It's not, we're getting Frieza. We're getting all this stuff. But this is like the first Dragon Ball Super movie, I guess, that isn't like going to be, hopefully not totally rehashed in the series if it ends up coming back. But it just looks super interesting. For those of you who haven't seen the poster yet, it's got Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta. And the bottom half has a freaking out Broly. Looks like he's transforming. And you have a more somber Broly with a scar on his face on the top and a Saiyan pod. it looks really, really neat. It's coming into theaters January of 2019. So, by a show of hands, everybody let me know. Who are you going to see it subtitled early, or are you going to try and hold off until the dub and then watch it subtitled later? I know I'm going to try and hold off until the dub. We'll see how well that works, especially with the podcast hopefully going more regularly by then, but we'll see. Yeah, other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on. I kind of flew through everything here without having Mason here. It's very, I have nobody to bounce things off of. So it's basically just me talking to myself and trying to talk as fast as I can, so I'm not leaving a bunch of giant pauses in here for you guys. I know it's probably going to be a little rougher of an episode for those of you who miss Mason. I am sorry. I miss him too. I'm going to try and get him in here going forward a little more often. With all this news that's happened and no time in sight that we were going to be able to get together and record again with how busy summer's been and blah, blah, blah. We know, Nick, you have a busy life, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to record something to get out to you guys. That way we weren't leaving you completely hung out to dry. So the next time I have Mason, we may end up rehashing this in a little more detail and a little more of a conversational sense. But for now, I just kind of wanted to give you guys a Dragon Ball Super news roundup and just really, get in your feeds because it's been a while. And I hope you enjoy this. If you guys want to just hang out and, chat, our Discord is still open. It's not as active as it was during the Japanese airing of Super, understandably so. But yeah, I'd love to hang out with you guys and talk to you guys in there. I know some of you are in there probably right now saying this episode is crap, but I am sorry. But yeah, check the Discord link in the show notes. Click on that link. Follow us on Facebook, all that jazz. Shoot us an email, universe7pod@gmail.com. Really appreciate you guys sticking it out with us here during this slow summer for us. But hopefully once this next arc gets started, we'll have more of an idea of how to do this in a more regular basis. And kind of get back to the Universe 7 podcast that you guys know and love. So I'm going to get going. I have to get ready for work now. Thanks again. See you guys soon. Have a great week. Stay safe. And until next time.